it a reaction to fear that will drive you to that will drive you or all of us to doing things uh, which are supposedly taken for granted, that every Monday is going to be as bad, whereas life has no such written rule. What we call routine um, is just a manner of how we tend to digest life.
Yeah.
And yet we move through this fear with confidence. Oh, now I have 1 hour, and next time onwards, you find out that other people had the same idea. They are clogging the streets at around 7 a.m. And you're like, what is this? You can't be staying
Yeah.
right just in office. So at that point, while it seems idiotic, but the world has been shut down. I was talking to somebody who is quite fearful about getting a job because she does not have the requisite um, either the degree or the credentials.
Yeah.
I told her, you're comparing yourself to a world that has shut down because of a small virus. Yeah, we are nowhere in control anyways. What are you bothered about? You go, you try your best, and it may work, it may not work. So yeah, that is the question. What do you think is the motive, and is if the motive is being fearful and still acting out of it, is that the right thing to do for ourselves? Does it seed the right intent, right emotions inside? Because deep inside, we would still have some kind of butterflies, not being comfortable because we are not comfortable to start with. We may not apparently,
Yeah.
but is this a problem that we are creating for ourselves? Uh, I'm just thinking aloud.
Mm, I wouldn't look at it as a problem we are creating for ourselves. The way I would look at it is you are trying to work around the fear in whatever way you can. And like I said at the start of our discussion, it is eventually what you tell yourself about the fear itself. I mean, uh, the other thing is, see, I am somebody who prefers a routine. I don't think other people may want to have a routine. I know of people who don't want a routine, but they're still happy functioning or doing whatever comes their way. It is probably, I have just conditioned myself that way because it works better for me.
No,
Like,
I have a very easy point of view on that. Their lack of routine is their routine.
it is their routine. Yeah, like I
Yeah,
know
so
this may
maybe
sound
this is
very stupid, but my idea of routine is I don't want to get into details here, but I've kind of given all that happens during the week. I said, okay, every Sunday I'm not going to have a routine. So for me, that is a routine. Not having a routine every Sunday, I just want to take it easy. You
so
get what
that,
I mean?
yeah, but this is exactly what my question is. So as a thinking individual, or as people who want to be happy, why is this entire exercise?
Mm,
We want to be fearless. We we don't want to lead fearful lives, whatever the fear may be, whether it is of the
mm,
traffic jam or the Sunday, because this fear of no routine on a Sunday, and you get the deal of your life on that day, it always puts this pressure. Okay, why does this idiot have to come? And I'm not saying we call our clients idiots, but I'm just saying this thing that has disrupted our schedule, which we are unable to handle, because there is one happiness and then there is the happiness of a Sunday. You know that the Sunday will now come only next week. You cannot hurry it up and get it.
yeah,
And at the same time, this deal means the world to you, or maybe the person means the world to you. You want to help them out with their requirements as a client. They've been good to you, and you've had a wonderful business rapport with them. On an ordinary day, they would not call you on a Sunday, but because the requirement is such, they've called you.
mm,
I think between the two, how does one choose the happier decision, which is not out of fear? Okay, I'll lose this client or I'll lose my Sunday. How can one balance it out? Is there a way to balance it out? Can we develop the requisite objectivity? Is there a way? Because you said, okay, we need to start with acknowledging.
yeah,
So
yeah. I
acknowledgement of the fact that both are important to me.
I completely agree to that. See, that's where I think when you are self-employed and and we do what we do for a living, I think somewhere it is also important that you factor in some amount of flexibility. So as much as I like routine, I won't say, okay, I'm not going to do this, which might probably translate into a next number of billing or some predictability of workflow in the next 6 months. I'm not going to do that. No, because the doing something that my client probably wants me to do on a Sunday is going to lead to other outcomes.
Okay. So now I'm trying to name the issue. So just bear with me in case I don't have the right words. But suppose
Oh no, take your time.
suppose there is this, if one realizes that there is this benefit
Mm-hmm.
that one gets out of not fearing things
Yes.
and acknowledging that as well. Because one is,
Yeah.
I agree with you, one has to start acknowledging the fear.
Yeah.
Also studying it because you need to understand where it springs from. Like when we
Yeah.
started this conversation in your example, we didn't know that it was not about the traffic jam, it was not about the news, it was about your own personal, what we initially termed as selfish for want of better understanding at that point in the talk. But as
Probably.
you realize, Kate, is a valid point. Obviously, you are a
Yes.
professional, you need to figure out your time. You also have a family to fend for. You got go back on time and do other things, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Um, So when we are doing this, how does one evaluate? Um, you said flexibility. Would you want to go deeper into that? Is that the only antidote to fear, or do we also continue the fear and park it there for a while and come back? What is it about my Sunday? So let's start there only. What is it about having a Sunday that is schedule free
Mm.
for you? Um, what kind of happiness are you looking for? And what if it does not happen?
Okay, let me answer it in two parts. I mean, the first part is what is it about the Sunday is because it's actually taken me a lot of time and many years to actually acknowledge and arrive the fact that even God rested on a Sunday. There was a reason why he did that. Okay.
Of course.
So it starts there, right? Because, when you're self-employed, you're doing so many other things. I mean, I sometimes tend to have 16 to 17-hour days. And I realized that's how it will be for various reasons. I don't want to change a thing about that because I like my days to be full of activities and schedules or whatever, right? But I realized over a period of time, you need that one day of not doing what you do every day, whether you want to call it getting your physical rest or your break from your thinking pattern or time to just recenter and reset yourself.
Okay.
Right? That is one part of
Okay.
my answer. But having said that, you're also allowing time off that day to do what you want to do or what you don't want to do. But then if you have a situation which demands you to do something, I guess one has to be equally flexible and open to do that as well. Because if I have to think about it, I don't think there are many Sundays when a client expects some kind of output or input from me for their situation. So if I have to do that, I will have no qualms to do that because I enjoy doing that. I guess it also depends what the activity is that one is expected to do. Do you enjoy it? Do you want to do it? Like, I mean, like I've said in one of the podcasts, we spoke about self-love or self-care or something. And I said, I cook every single day for my family.
Yeah, you
So
did.
maybe Sunday I will not cook. And I didn't cook. But does that mean that my family was hungry? No, I did make some backup arrangements and we all had a good relaxed time. So I guess it's just about being a bit creative and flexible in terms of if you have to do that extra bit, you have to do that. And then of course, coming back to your original question of fear, I think it goes hand in hand, Bunty. That's what my experience has been, whether it is coming to the office on time or not getting stuck in a traffic or to larger issues like when will I see my parents, right? I've not seen them in 2 years' time. I just acknowledge it. Okay, I've not seen them. I don't know when I will see them. It is something that I live every day, but it is what it is.
Okay. So I have an interesting question on the good part of it.
Of
Uh,
course you do.
the good part was you said you enjoy these 15-hour days, 16-hour days packed with activities. Uh, I'm reading between the lines that challenge you and keep you alert or uh,
Hmm.
make it enjoyable for you. Uh, what if it were a forced activity um, of 15 hours, 16-hour days for a prolonged period of time, which would not give you peace and happiness or a kick of excellence and passion? Uh, like the lockdown is, for example, while it seems that I am being unfair, but it actually no. We've been uh, One of my friends posted a beautiful picture of his village on Instagram, which was terraces and those one floor houses and skies. And I wrote to him, "Are you making people in big jails jealous like me?"
Hmm.
And he laughed. And that's exactly what I felt. I have not felt that kind of thing in a while. Even when now one gets out, you're going surely to fulfill your basic needs,
Yeah, what essentials? Yeah.
essentials. So I'm saying we are being forced. And yet, if somebody
Yeah.
asks me, am I fearful? Am I unhappy? To a small extent, definitely so. The frustration sometimes does arise about not getting to do what one wants. But at the same time, it's not just survival that makes me stay put. My
Hmm.
ability to look at it in a manner where I'm used to um, looking at life not fulfilling my expectations helps quite a lot. Um,
Okay.
One of
Okay.
my friends
Okay.
had actually gifted me a T-shirt which said in Hindi "अपनी नहीं चलती" because I used to always keep on saying that, which effectively means we are not in control.
Hmm.
And while on the surface of it, it seems illogical, but aren't we all like these same 15, 17 hours that you're talking about? Would you look at them and I think it's a bad example, but suppose somebody in your family is unwell and you have to take care, and yet the 16 hours is not leaving you. That same enjoyable thing at that point becomes so painful. You want to get rid of it, but you cannot because you cannot um, ditch the business of the client at that point of time for whatever reason.
Hmm.
Just exaggerating,
Hmm.
but there are days like those happen. And or something as simple as your daughter wants you to accompany her to school for a special function or meeting a teacher on something important, and suddenly you realize uh, the business deal or whatever the call that you were not expecting has just come. At that point, you really the same enjoyable thing is no longer enjoyable. So, so where does the decision making come from? How do you adjust, and what is the mindset? I'm not interested in the example so much as the mindset. What is the mind that will resolve the problem for us when things
I
are
think it is a sorry. I think it is a tough call because two situations are going to be the same. I mean, just to pick on from what you said, I mean, I have a commitment with my daughter at school, but then a work situation has arisen. Uh, I have to try and meet both of them somewhere in the middle, and depending upon what the situation is, which needs more attention, I think that's a call that you have to take, and you should be willing to pay the price for it as well. Whether it's attending an event in your child's school or addressing a client situation.
yeah.
And once you make that choice, I guess you just have to stick with it. What will make me happy? I mean, and how often am I compromising one for the other?
Yeah, that is actually immaterial because that presumes that both the situations are stagnant and they will always arise in the same manner, which which is
Yeah, Murphy's,
situation.
yes, it will always, it happens most of the times. But the way I would look at it is it depends on how many times I'm doing a trade-off, if I may use that word, between attending events and because one obviously feeds the other, let's face it, right? So I guess it eventually boils down to what you tell yourself based on the choice that you've made, and somewhere also believe that you will always have another opportunity to make up at both ends.
Yeah, oh, we'll keep that aside.
Yeah,
I want to
yeah,
pinpoint at the exact point where you're taking the decision, whichever decision,
yeah,
whether business
yeah,
or the event.
yeah,
So one actually gives it a 360-degree point of view, saying these are the options available. These are things I can do. These are things that are absolutely not possible because of
yeah,
a physical or mental presence in one place. Uh,
yeah,
how does one ease that for oneself? Because that will help address the fear that we started with. Because fear is not getting something or
yeah,
something happening that you fear or something not happening the way you want. So these are again the two choices that you're stuck with. There are certain things you will do. So is there a mindset that we can look at that point of time which eases it for us? Was the last line the answer where you said you have to be willing to understand there is going to be a compromise?
yeah,
That
yeah.
you may, life is long. Hopefully, you will get a chance to make up for the.
Get it? Yeah, because that's what I would say. I mean, easing yourself at that point in time and telling yourself, okay, I'm going to choose between one of them and I'm willing to pay the price or deal with whatever the situation is on the one that I'm not addressing enough, or the one that I chose to ignore or not prioritize it at that point in time, and willing to stay with the repercussions, whether that is losing a contract or your child getting annoyed with you for the next 1 week. You decide on that, accept that decision and make peace with it. Good, bad, ugly, it's your decision.